I need to be on every social media platform. I can tell you right now that's absolutely not true, and I'm going to talk you through why that is. Hello and welcome to Engage and Thrive, also known as Eat, your coffee catch-up with me, your host Taelon, where we will go through common problems and hurdles that come up in business, marketing and advertising and try and demystify them. I know firsthand how complicated and confusing it can seem with all the different acronyms and all the things to do in business. So let me try and help you be better in business. First things first, let's start with grabbing a coffee. Okay, now you've got the coffee, let me dish the dirt, spill the tea, but not spill the coffee. So the first thing is I'll tell you why this is so important not to be on every platform, because every platform has its own unique personality, features, algorithm, ways of working, and it's so important that you can't do the same thing across all of them. So you really need to be selective on what social media platforms you go on relevant to your business. AKA, don't be on every platform. Okay, next thing is, as always, we're going to cover off acronyms. So, acronyms that we're likely to go through are ROI, which is return on investment. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not going to be talking about marketing budgets and marketing spend because we're talking about picking a social media platform. But your ROI is your return of investment of your time. So even though it's organic posts, it's still your time and energy and effort that you're spending curating, or someone else that you've allocated to do it. And therefore, are you getting anything back for that time spent? So that is your ROI. The next thing, which kind of leads into that acronym, is CTA, which is your call to action. So when you're posting something, what do you want someone to do after they've seen, heard, viewed, touched, smelled your post, your video, your whatever? That's your CTA. And the last one is your CTR. So that is your click-through rate. Again, seen, heard, smelled your post. What are they doing next? So therefore, part of your call to action is what's the click-through of where they're going next. So are they actually clicking through to your website and buying your service, buying your product, signing up to a newsletter, giving your profile a follow? What are they doing? Okay, now we're going to go through 3 takeaways only this week. So number 1, the first takeaway that is the most important thing about picking a social media platform is what is relevant to your audience. So it sounds like I bang on about this so many times, and I really do, and I always will, because understanding your audience is the most important part of your business. If you don't understand your audience, you're not understanding your product or your service. So by understanding your audience day in the life, like we discussed in episode 1, and therefore what platform suits your audience, that will then go hand in hand and make sense. You also want to be able to, when you're on those platforms, tailor your content to your audience. So if you're not on the right platform for your audience and then you're tailoring your content, this is just like a sea of no-ness. So nothing's going to happen, which kind of leads me into number 2 as a takeaway. So it's quality over quantity. There's, like, at the moment, for example, I've had so many people say, oh, you need to be posting on TikTok 3 times a day to go viral, to get an impact. Well, but like, it's all relevant. So, okay, let's say you're posting 3 times a day on TikTok and twice a day on LinkedIn because you've read all these different blogs and you're blogging once a week and you're posting this on Google Business. But like, what? The other thing is with that, the quality over quantity is the more you spread your energy and your content out onto these different platforms, the thinner it's going to get, and the less of your voice, and the less you can tailor it, and the less it's going to be relevant to your audience. Which kind of leads me into number 3, consistency. So you need to be able to experiment and be consistent with your experiments and consistent with your posting. Once you've experimented, then you can actually see what's working for your audience and what's working for you as a brand and what's working for you from like a fluidness of posting? Is it that you actually feel you're not comfortable being on camera, so you want faceless marketing as that's the trend? Or do you prefer actually having really long infographics because you need more education for your audience? So all these experiments are so important, which part of that consistency as well is being flexible. So this is digital, it's social media, it's digital, it's not print, it's not out in the world and you can't take it back. Obviously you could delete things, but the whole point is that you try it and you evolve. And algorithms change as well. So something that you're doing now probably won't be relevant in 18 months' time. These platforms change so much, and you have to be fluid and flexible in your approach of doing things. But if you're consistent and kind of getting that feedback and seeing what's working for your business and measuring and tracking your ROI and sales and everything, you'll see the way that things are evolving and the way that you need to evolve with your content for your business. So that's the 3 key takeaways to take away from social media. Social media, picking your platform. There's so much more that we can go into about setting a social media strategy and different content types for social media. But just to reiterate again, because I think it's so important, you do not need to be on every social media platform. So please do not. If you want to secure a handle, this is your bonus item, just in case you think in the future you might want to be on that platform, knock yourself out. But honestly, less is more. Do less. Focus on your audience. And see you next time on another episode of Eat with your host, Taelon. So don't forget to subscribe and see you next week.